Some wars are fought with guns, bombs, and blood. But one war was fought in silence, in locked rooms, with chalk, numbers, and minds sharp enough to cut through chaos. This is the story of a man who fought that war, a man whose name the world should have shouted, but instead erased. In 1939, Europe was drowning in fire. Nazi Germany's armies spread like a storm. Behind their attacks hid a secret weapon, a code so complex it seemed unbreakable. The Enigma. This small, unassuming machine allowed the Germans to communicate in absolute secrecy. Every naval command, every troop movement, every surprise attack was encrypted into what seemed like random gibberish. With the Enigma, the Nazis were always one step ahead, and their grip on Europe tightened with each passing day. The code was the lifeblood of their war machine, a seemingly invincible shield that made them unstoppable. Then came Alan Turing, a quiet, awkward genius from Cambridge. He didn't command armies, he commanded ideas. Where others saw chaos, Turing saw patterns. Where others said impossible, he whispered, "Let's find out." He wasn't a soldier or a politician. He was a mathematician, a logician, a man more comfortable with abstract concepts than with people. But it was this unique mind that the British government desperately needed. Recruited to the top-secret code-breaking center at Bletchley Park, Turing stepped into the heart of the Shadow War. At Bletchley Park, he faced the impossible. The Enigma changed its code every 24 hours. That's 159 quintillion possible settings. Every midnight, the puzzle reset, making all the previous day's work obsolete. The brightest minds in Britain were stumped, working around the clock by hand, but they were always too slow. The Germans believed, with good reason, that no human could ever crack it in time. But Turing had a different idea. What if a machine could defeat a machine? What if you could build a brain out of wires and switches to fight a code born from rotors and gears? It was a radical, almost ludicrous proposal. Building a thinking machine in the middle of a world war with limited resources and immense pressure sounded like madness. His superiors were skeptical, his colleagues doubtful. They wanted practical, immediate solutions, not some fantastical contraption from a theoretical mind. But Turing was relentless. He worked day and night, turning logic into steel, thought into electricity. He designed a colossal, complex device he called the bomb. And one day, after years of struggle, frustration, and near failure, the machine spoke. The moment was electric. The giant machine, a symphony of clicking relays and spinning drums, whirred with purpose. Then, silence. The wheels stopped. The code was cracked. From that day forward, messages once hidden now flowed like rivers of truth. The Allies began to win battles before they were even fought, anticipating enemy maneuvers with uncanny precision. Historians estimate that Turing's machine shortened the war by at least 2 years, saving countless lives. His machine had turned the tide, but the victory was sealed in silence. Everything Turing did, the bomb, the decrypted messages, his entire contribution, was classified under the highest level of secrecy. No one could know his name. There were no medals, no public parades, no glory, just quiet and the heavy burden of secrecy. While the world celebrated the end of the war, Alan Turing and his team at Bletchley Park faded back into the shadows, their monumental achievement locked away in government files. Years later, the man who saved millions faced a new enemy, his own government. In 1952, Alan was arrested. Not for treason, not for espionage, but for being gay, for who he was. At a time when homosexuality was illegal in Britain, Turing's private life was put on public trial. He was convicted of gross indecency. Given a horrifying choice between prison and chemical castration, he chose the latter, forced to undergo hormone injections. The drugs did more than just break his body. They clouded his brilliant mind and shattered his spirit. The man who had once navigated the infinite complexities of code was now trapped in a prison of his own biology, his work for the government stripped away. On June 7, 1954, Alan Turing was found dead, a half-eaten apple suspected to be laced with cyanide by his side. The world never even realized what it had lost. A hero had fallen, not on the battlefield, but in the quiet loneliness of his own home, betrayed by the very society he had saved. Decades later, as top-secret files were finally opened, the truth emerged. The Queen herself granted a posthumous royal pardon. His name rose from the shadows. Alan Turing, the father of modern computing, the man who broke Hitler's code, and the hero the world forgot. Every computer, every smartphone, every algorithm, every single moment a machine thinks, it whispers his name. The hero who saved humanity once and still shapes it today. He was forgotten once. Let's make sure he never is again. Thanks for watching.